All right, we are 10 days in. Today is going to be pull day, and it's getting so dark so early now that, like, this video quality of me talking in the car is going to be straight dookie. So, hopefully, I can get my shifts changed around at work so that I can start lifting in the morning again, and that will help. Yesterday's lift was so diabolical. I am still feeling it right now. I have not felt my front delts more, maybe ever, than I do right now. My chest and my shoulders feel insane. Makes me think I need to go lift when I'm in a bad mood more often, because apparently I go way harder when I'm in a bad mood. And that same mood is not really how I'm feeling right now, but I'm thinking I can tap into it a little bit, some residual things, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to get that back pump, got to get the biceps feeling good, got to get those lats feeling good, the traps. It's so annoying how dark it gets this early, bro. It's literally not even 5:30 p.m. right now, and it is dark outside. That camera angle keeps getting funny. But yeah, anyway, I think that because of all the lifting I did at work today, there was like a shipment that I ended up having to like unpack a ton of stuff that were really heavy. My lower back feels kind of messed up right now. So probably not the greatest thing that it's back day today, but we're gonna run with it. It's like I said yesterday, you take what you're given and you find a way to tap into it, find a way to work with it. So we're gonna do that today. But instead of it being an anabolic bad mood, it's gonna be somehow anabolic back pain. I'm not sure it's gonna work as well as the bad mood, but yeah. So we're gonna start off. Some things are gonna be different. I got some really good advice from somebody in the comments section after my last pull day, particularly about my cable pull-throughs and about my Zotman curls. He told me about shifting my stance 1 foot more forward, 1 foot more back to stop rocking during Zotman curls. That will make there be less strain on my back, and it will isolate my biceps a lot more. So I'm going to give that a try. And then with the cables, I'm going to try going a little bit lighter, and I'm going to focus on, he was saying, to basically not change the bend of my elbows at all. To like keep it being the same level, to have no, because and when I thought about it, it makes sense because it creates that pushing movement. That's why I was using my triceps so much. So I'm gonna lighten the weight a little bit to try to relearn that movement, because what I've been doing so far hasn't really been right. It's funny because I still feel my back like crazy, but I've had to stop sooner because of my triceps. So we're gonna try to correct both of those things tonight. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how that goes. I'm excited to see how the Zotmans feel and how the cable pull-throughs feel. And those just happen to be the very first things we're going to do. So let's hop into it.
Been standing here for about 10 minutes now. Every dumbbell from about 15 pounds up to 45 pounds is just gone. I literally never start with these. But every cable and every dumbbell is literally taken. Like, I looked around the gym to see what stuff that I do on pull day is actually open, and this is one of the only things that was open. This might be the busiest I've ever seen this place. feels interesting doing this fresh. Like I said, I literally never start with this, but it was either that or just keep standing. Can't wait to eventually have my own gym, so I never have to worry about this kind of thing again. Definitely still feeling some pain in my lower back and kind of my mid back, so maybe it's good I'm starting out with this since it's nice and stable. I usually do not do that many reps with that weight. I'm assuming it's because I'm doing it fresh. Actually, don't mind how this feels so far. It's kind of good, I think, every now and then to interrupt your pattern, your cycle, as you go throughout your workout. Kind of surprises your muscles. I don't know if there's any science behind that or if everything I just said is bullcrap, but definitely feels different. Whew. That felt good. About 6.5 reps. Should I see how 4 plates feels? Just see how it feels? I haven't done that yet. Let's do it. Why not? Never tried this weight. We're just gonna see how it feels. See if we can just move it. Did 6.5 reps with 3 plates. So my only goal is not to drop it. One foot slightly in front. Definitely felt the change. That was harder than usual. Getting there little by little. I felt good. I don't know if that second rep was high enough to count as a full rep. I think it was, but I don't know. I know I at least got that one. Let's try what the hell I suggested. Going 15 pounds lighter than usual. I can definitely see how that helps. I think with Zotman's, what he said definitely helped. I'm not sure about these though. I'm still feeling it in my triceps even when I do that. But that could also just be because I hit triceps heavy yesterday. Like I could just be feeling that pain. I can't tell if it's a pump or if it's soreness. But it still feels good in my back, so I'm gonna just keep doing it, see how it feels. I don't think I needed to decrease the weight though. I don't think that was necessary. So we're going back up. I almost feel it more in my triceps doing that. Oh, maybe not. That felt worse. It's kind of insane, actually. I'm really feeling my triceps right now. Like more than I've ever felt them. I'm gonna go back to just whatever I was doing before. I'm not even sure everything was different. I'm just gonna mess around with it. See if I can get that feeling to go away. Well, those didn't feel good today. I have no idea if this is gonna capture this or not, but we're just gonna try it because it's so busy. I don't want to put it anywhere else. 2 more. It's always harder with the left. But that's no excuse for less reps. I could totally like bait Joey Swole into commenting on this. Get like mad at somebody for walking in front of the camera. Shout out my boy Camilo, that dude. Whew. S tier. I would say he's like top 5, top 3 lifters here. Easy. My only thought when the last rep on the right side is that hard is how dang near impossible the left is going to be. One more. Oh. Okay. The cables are taken where I usually do my cable curls. So today I'm going to try a new variation. I've never done them with these. See how it feels. Definitely feels good. Kind of feeling some strain on my wrists and my outer forearms though. Let's try this grip instead. I feel like the angle might be better on my wrists. Nope. Not on my hands. That's weird. Let's do wider grip, that might help. I think with ropes, there's a chance it'll be better. So we're gonna try that. Yeah. Like that. I'm technically done at this point, but there's a machine that I've always wanted to try that I'm going to give a try here in a second. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'll try it next full day because the people using it have been going for 4 sets and they show no signs of stopping. So. And that brings pull day, day 10, to a close. I really struggled with hunger today, but luckily my dinner tonight is going to be lean enough and low calorie enough that I was able to eat a little bit more than I usually do at work. So there were 2 times when the hunger was just getting unbearable and I was actually able to do something about it. It's not very often that I'm able to do that. Usually I just kind of have to suffer through it. But luckily that wasn't so much the case today. Instead of being miserable for like 6 hours straight, I was like miserable for 2, okay for 1, miserable for 2, and then okay for 1. So, you know, things just work out sometimes. And that's the thing, you know, I see a lot of people like making these ads now where they're like, how to lose this amount of weight without starving yourself all the time, or without, you know, even just in general, without feeling hungry, without feeling the hunger pains, blah, blah, blah. If you are living realistically, you know, you're not hiring a private nutritionist and a private chef to prepare every single thing that goes into your body every single day. You're going to have to understand some level of hunger, some level of pain is required in order to drop weight, in order to reach the goals that you want. You know, like, this is something that I love this. There's this one moment in this Aiden Ross stream that he did where he asked somebody, what's the quickest way? It's funny, I would say the name, but I've noticed that when I say the name, sometimes YouTube doesn't push the video, but he was interviewing someone and he asked them, what's the quickest way to get a 6-pack? Like, what's the quickest way, the easiest way to get abs? And he said, why does it have to be easy? If it was easy and quick, if there was a solution, everyone would have a 6-pack. That's the whole point. If it were easy, nobody would be fat. No one would not have a 6-pack. If it was easy, everyone would have abs. The point is,
it weeds out people. That's why there's value. Value has always, since the dawn of time, been tied to scarcity. It's been tied to rarity. That's where value comes from. Anything which is hard to obtain has value. And that's why incredible physiques are seen as incredibly valuable, right? Because there is no short, easy way. Like, there's no shortcut. Even guys who take steroids, like, people say, you know, and I'm natural and will always be natural, but those guys are still working for it. You know, like, if you just pumped yourself full of tren every single day and then didn't hit the gym, you're not going to look like Chris Bumstead. Like, that's not how that works. It's funny. Like, as a kid, I don't know about you, maybe I'm just speaking from my experience, but I remember as a kid first learning about steroids and thinking that's basically how it works. Like, you inject steroids and then you get big. It's like, no, you still got to push inhumanly hard. Like, you still have to work for it. It's just that it allows you to, you know, take those extra steps further and maybe a little quicker. So sure, shortcut in that sense. But even with all of the possible things you could do to cheat or shortcut, it's still going to be absolutely just riddled with difficulty. That's how it works. For some people, it's easier than others. Some people, it's, you know, putting on muscle. That's the hard thing, but they can just eat and eat, never put on weight. Then there's people like me who really struggle with keeping weight off and with ditching weight, but are able to be strong and put on muscle quick. You know, no matter what it is going to be difficult. Excuse me. It's going to be difficult to achieve your goal. There's going to be pain attached. And so, you know, it's interesting. I almost feel like a way that you can gauge whether or not what you're doing actually has value is look at the difficulty level of it. Like, can anyone do what you do? Okay, well, there's probably not a lot of value attached to it then. Like, let's be so for real. If the majority of mankind can do it, odds are it is not a high value skill. I'm sure someone can come up with an exception. But in general, that is going to remain true. And so, you know, there are times when I'm on this diet and like I'm at work or I'm lifting or whatever it might be, and that hunger just hits me hard. Something that has helped me has been rewiring my brain to receive those hunger pains, those triggers, as a sign. It's like my body is waving a sign saying, like, it's working. Something's happening in here. If I was never feeling hungry, it's actually funny, right? Back before, there was a period, I just realized I've never talked about this. There was a short period of time this year, a couple months, where the way that I had structured my diet, I thought I was in a deficit, and I wasn't really in much of a deficit, and I wasn't dropping weight. And I remember thinking during some of those days, being like, huh, it's really cool. The last 2 weeks, I haven't felt super hungry every single day. Okay, well, duh, like that should have been a sign. Oh, I haven't been having hunger pains. I haven't been feeling, you know, maybe a little more fatigue. I haven't been feeling any changes that are negative. Well, I'm probably not in a deficit then. If I am, it's not a big one, not one enough to, you know, to hack away at it. And so what I realized was the app that I was using was way over calculating the amount of calories I was burning, like literally 2xing in some instances the number of calories I was burning. And then it was undershooting the amount of calories in the food that I was eating. Even when I was being precise and weighing my food, it was overshooting, which apparently is something I've learned a lot of apps do. And so now that I've actually nailed down, like, okay, this is how to use this, and this is how to track this, and this is the actual number I need to shoot for, and this is and I need to make sure there's a cushion, because I use the same app, but I've just learned how it works now. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want, you know, unless I get a sponsorship, I don't want to promote them. Because again, it's not a great app. I probably, even if they offered a sponsorship, probably wouldn't do it. Neither here nor there. I distract myself so easily. It's ADHD. But now that I know how to do it, boom, all of a sudden, hunger pains every single day. And it's not, you know, I'm not starving myself. I don't have an eating disorder. So it annoys me so much when people act like, you know, maybe putting themselves on a diet or blah, blah, blah is an eating disorder. That's another rant for another time. But no, I don't feel like I'm starving myself. I don't feel like blah, blah, blah. In the midst of my hunger pains, I might say so. But, you know, it's like, there is a little bit of pain attached now to what I am doing. And consistently, every week to week and a half, The scale shows that I've dropped 1 to 2 pounds, 1.5, 2 pounds. So clearly it's working. What's the common denominator? Pain. I know I've said it before. Everything you want is on the other side of pain. And by pain, I just mean something you don't want to experience. It doesn't have to be literal pain, right? No one wants to experience feeling ravenously hungry and still having to be active. Nobody wants that. But everyone wants leanness. Everyone wants to be strong. Everyone wants a six-pack. Everyone wants blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? All those things are on the other side of what you don't want to experience. In my opinion, that's true of just about every goal you could possibly set for yourself. You want to make an enormous amount of money? Whew. Well, get used to the idea of several years spent trying to get a business off the ground and just learning by experience, one thing after another, one failure after another. No one wants to make 100 cold calls a day for a year straight, only to not get, not get the number of clients that you want. Nobody wants to spend a bunch of time creating a product only to have nobody buy it. And then you have to revise it and reinvest and revise it again and reinvest hundreds of times sometimes before it ends up popping off. Nobody wants that. But everyone looks at the guy driving the Bugatti and wants the Bugatti. I know that this has been a big rant, but I don't know. I feel the need for this page to not just be tracking my progress, but also for me to portray a message to the world. And the message that I want to portray in this episode is that pain is not necessarily bad. Negative triggers in your life are not necessarily bad. Stress is not necessarily bad. Anxiety is not necessarily bad. Depression is not necessarily bad. The overwhelming majority of the time, those things are all triggers that are telling you there's something you need to accomplish that is on the other side of something you don't want to experience. And so what I've found, and this, I'm mimicking a lot of things that a lot of my role models have said, so this is not, original to me. Either way, life is going to have suffering. Either way, you're going to be stressed a lot of days. Either way, you're going to feel anxious. Either way, you're going to feel sad. Either way, you're going to have failures. Either way, fill in the blank. If you're lazy and don't go to the gym, you are going to have days where you're anxious, you're sad, and you're depressed. If you go to the gym, you're going to have days where you're anxious, depressed, or you're sad. Both people are experiencing negative things in life. One is strong and looks incredible and has discipline that he can use to overcome those same things. The other has none of that. The rich man lives stressed day by day, running his empire. The man who lives as a slave, working a 9 to 5, feels stressed day by day because his life isn't his own. They're both stressed. They're both dealing with stress. Their bodies both have stress responses. I bet both their cortisol levels are super high. One is a king, one is a slave. So that's the idea. If either way you are going to experience pain in this life, it may as well be pain that is experienced moving towards something productive. If you're gonna have anxious days, if you're gonna have sad days, if you're gonna have depressed days, if you're gonna fail, you may as well be smart, strong, rich, healthy, spiritually aligned, fill in the blank with whatever it is that you may want to accomplish. No matter what, you're going to experience pain in this life. It may as well be experiencing pain as the best version of yourself. And I'm not even remotely close to that. And some days that's something that kind of depresses me, but at least right now that's something that really excites me because we've got a long way to go. And I'm going to do everything that I can to enjoy the journey. Day 10, pull day. Please subscribe. Thank you for listening to my rant. Have a great day.